Hey guys, want to welcome you to another edition of Halftime Chat. You know what? I was supposed to have started this 30 minutes ago, and to my bad, I just got lost of track. But I've got a special guest, Rick Starr. He's got his roots out in here in the UK, but based out in the US. And so it's going to be interesting to talk to him about his career, both both in fashion as a model and both in music as well. So I'm going to bring Rick Star in, and then we will get to talk and see what has been going on.
Yes. What's up,
Yes.
bro? Hey.
Okay. How you doing?
Yes, I'm good. Thank you. Thank you so much for having me. I'm so excited to be on your platform.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No. It's yeah. Over the last couple of weeks, I've been getting the opportunity to speak to um, artists who are actually making headways today, and it's quite a lot different from during the day when I used to engage in music. We had the record labels, we had BET, we had MTV.
Yeah.
It's very different now when you've got social media, when you've got streamings and downloads, and so the way artists make money now is completely different. So it's always interesting to talk and share and hear your story.
Yeah, for real. It's such a different world right now, so it's just better. I feel like it's better this way with social media. You can easily access each other without having to actually go to the studio to actually record it and whatever. So this is really dope.
Yes. Okay. Well, before I start, I mean, for those who are going to be joining in now, and as we go live, I always like to get and start off with where you were sort of born and raised.
Yeah, man. So I'm actually from the UK, London. I was
Okay.
born and raised in London, and as a kid, I just used to always travel to New York to really
Wow.
find my style, really find my. It's just like finding my whole style, my whole sound, and everything like that. So my grandfather is from New York, and I just used to always travel back and forth. So right now I'm in LA. I was just in New York, so yeah, that's how.
Okay. Okay. So in the UK, I mean, when did you get into your singing and music?
Yeah, so I got into singing. I went to the Sylvia Young Theatre School, and that's where Victoria Beckham and Amy Winehouse went to at a different time than I was.
Okay.
But I went to that school and I trained, and they was, on obviously wanting me to sing more musical theater, like. But with the roots of me going to America and really learning the whole style and everything like that, I was listening to a lot of R&B legends. Like my mom, she used to play Joe C and uh, Faith Evans, Aaliyah, Tupac. So that's really how I got in my swag and really how I, found my sound, found my voice. And in London, it was a whole different, stripped back, different vibe because it was very musical theater, very proper. But yeah, just being able to study musical theater helped me to be able to become a great musician. And also, I went to another school called the Orang Academy in London where I trained for 4 years and I have a degree in musical theater and dance and performing. So, yeah, it's always been something that I've been doing. I also started off in a boy band in London, UK. And shout out to Rough Copy, they were called.
Rough
Uh,
copy.
yes, they went on X Factor and
I've
Nicole
heard
Scherzinger
of
put them on.
I've heard of rough copy. Wait a minute.
Yeah, so I was in a group with them, and then
Were you on X Factor with them?
I didn't go on X Factor with them, but I trained with them for 3 or 4 years, and then you know, some I ended up moving on from the group and becoming a solo star, and yeah, so
Okay, okay, okay. Yeah, I remember rough copy. I think. Yeah, I need to. Yeah, I remember them back in the day. Back it's been a long time when they were on. I thought they were they a mix of where were they from? I mean, culturally,
we
were they?
we was all from London, London town, like Croydon. I was from South London. Elephant and Castle. So yeah,
Okay.
that's um
Oh, why did you
but
leave then?
I we had some issues with management,
Okay.
you know, like there's always issues with management and everything like that. And also I was traveling to New York a lot to work on music just in general.
Okay.
So
Okay.
I ended up, talking with some really dope producers. One of the producers was Rich Harrison. His manager, Easy, gave me like a demo to record to. And yeah, it was like a go-go sound. A.
Yeah.
Marie's one,
Yeah. Yeah.
that sound. And just fell in love with it as an artist. And, it was on and up from there.
But when you saw that they made, say, the X Factor, did you think, "Oh man, I missed my chance because they've"?
I never thought that I missed my chance. Obviously it would have been nice to be there, but I mean, I'm here now and I'm making
Yeah.
waves
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
now. So,
Yeah.
and everything that I've learned in the industry has prepared me for now. So going to New York, I wasn't a model before I was in a boy band. I just went to New York, and that's when I started to really work with all the photographers, all the designers out there. And that's really how I elevated my brand. Because my brand is like visual, it's a visual brand, but it's also the music as well. So it's the whole nine. And basically, going to America really got me into modeling. I was able to do a lot of runways, LA Fashion Week, New York Fashion Week. Yeah, so basically that's how.
Okay. So
Yeah.
we'll get back there. Just so the fact that you went to these music academies growing up,
Yes.
what it takes a leap of faith to go down that direction. Who, I mean, how are your family? Were they? Was this something you said you wanted to do, or were they like, "Yep, we see a talent. Let's support you in this"? Or what was the?
Yeah. Well, my mom, she was a teenager in America. She moved to America to go to school and stuff like that. So she used to always have magazines and stuff like that, write on magazine and Word Up and everything like that. And
Black
that's
Beach?
how
Yeah,
I
yeah.
really my mom's young and she had me very young. So she moved to America and she just had a lot of like stuff that I used to look at. And
Mm.
I was very shy. I was very shy. So I decided to get into dance at first. And from getting into dance, one thing led to another. And my mom was like, "Oh, I'm taking you to vocal lessons now." And she really really helped me in regards to that, but she really doesn't like the industry because there's a lot of different things that happen in the industry. And my dad is also a singer, a reggae singer, called Junior Chim. And my aunt, my godmother Marissa Anglin, she was a singer that was signed to Sony, Black Cat Records. So it was always been in the family, but she's obviously like iffy about the music industry always. So I just have to show her that I'm bringing a light to the game. And I've been in LA for 7 years, so LA is a whole different ball game when it comes to music marketing and all of that stuff. So yeah.
So I guess as you moved over to the states to really focus on the music, how did you pick the genre in which you wanted to showcase your talent?
Okay, so with the genre and everything like that, the genre basically started off as Motown funk. I wanted to do something different than R&B from the boy band. So
Mm.
my manager at the time was like, let's just do Motown funk. And we was meeting up with this lady called Sylvia. She's a big record executive in London. She has Turn First Artist, I believe it was called. And so I've come, yeah, her name's Sylvia, but I can't remember the second name. But yeah, she's a big lawyer. She did Little Peep and everybody, and she was like, you have that kind of swag like Andre 3000 and Janelle Monáe, and Solange, and she was like, you should just run with it. So I ran with that kind of sound, and yes, I love that sound, but obviously, like, I love R&B, I love Aaliyah and stuff like that, and Timbaland. and Missy. So it just, when I first moved to New York, I was still delving into that sound, and it was only when I came to LA that I was able to expand my sound and really evolve in that kind of sound. I was going to basically all the studios in LA, one called Ultrium, and then that's where I met this guy called Yanni, and he produced for Lil Wayne and Trey Songz Say Ah, and all the best, Chris Brown.
Mm.
And I sang my song to him, and he digged my vibe. He digged my vibe, and he was like, I have some beats for you to work on. So those beats were way different from anything that I've ever worked on. It was a challenge for me. It wasn't a challenge, because it's easy to like have a swag and everything like that. But obviously, like, it was a whole different sound. This was like Chris Brown and all of these different artists that I was like trying to not be so much like. So basically, that's how my sound came about, was going to the studio at Ultrium Studios and basically being given those tracks to work on. And so on my new album, Rockstar, you'll hear some of the songs from Yanni, who's produced some really great hits. Say
Mm.
Off with Trey Songs. And one of my songs, Countdown, basically has that kind of like replica kind of sound. So yeah, and that's basically how.
Yeah. So I mean, I guess the other question then is um, going back to the 70s, 80s, 90s,
Yeah.
and 2000s. It was very much of a you search for a record deal, you get your record deal, and then artist development, and they put you out. How
Yeah.
did you? It seems as if you were mentioning that you were looking for that you got the tracks. But then
Yeah.
when you shopping your demo around trying to get a deal, or what was the?
Yeah, basically, with this, it's been about 5 years to take me. It's taken me 5 years to really get my sound together the way that I really wanted to. I met with a great engineer, vocal engineer, vocal arranger, and everything. And his name is Prince. Shout out to Prince Chappelle. His cousins Kevin McCall as well. So they have a song with Chris Brown called Deuces. And so basically, we was in the studio writing every day and coming up with different sounds. And LA is so small, so everybody already knows each other.
Mm,
And basically, he understood the kind of sound, because I was still trying to delve into the Rich Harrison sound with the funk. Still, I was still trying to do that, but I said, how can we make it so current, like new and current, with the same kind of swag? So on my album, you hear a lot of different harmonies that are stacked together, and they're very entwined. And it reminds me of like when you listen to like a Rhythm Nation, like the way that the harmonies entwine together, Janet Jackson's Rhythm Nation album. It's kind of
mm.
like that, but on like a new school, new vibe, new sound, new vibe. And so we started working together, and basically we was able to cultivate that sound, basically.
Yeah, but I guess because you said are you signed to Sony Orchard or what's the
Yeah.
relation?
So basically, yeah. So basically, I went to a party in LA, and it was the Sony Orchard party. Actually, a publicist who I met at a fashion show, a New York Fashion Week, he was like, I want to send you to this party in LA. I want to be a publicist. So he sent me to a party in LA, and it was so happened to be Sony Orchard's party. And I saw the A&Rs. I did my gay images and everything like that, and I saw the A&Rs there, and I said, how can I get my music to you guys? And one of the ladies, the A&Rs that was there, she represents the Latin side, and
Mm.
she introduced me to Liz. Shout out to Liz. She's the president of Sony Orchard, LA. She introduced me to another really dope person who's in the industry, who's been in the industry for a very long time. His name is Jeff, and basically we collaborated together to form. Basically, it's my label, Rickstar Records, but it's still under Orchard and Jeff's BDG Records label. So it's a joint
Who's
venture.
Jeff? Jeff who?
Jeff Brody, his name is.
Brody. No, okay.
Yes, he's really dope.
Mm.
he's worked with like Linda Perry, Linda Perry,
Okay.
and some other R&B stars as well, Dionne
Mm.
Warwick, and also he, funny enough, he has this lady who competed with one of my favorite artists, Aaliyah, on Star Search, and her name's Katrina. So he's like signed her too. So it's just funny how the universe and God works, you know, with that situation. Yeah.
So, but what made them decide? Okay, it's not instead of just signing you, we want to help you form your label.
Yeah.
Why would they do that?
Well, I had my album already done within the last
Hmm.
5 years. I was working on it because I was trying to get signed to a label anyway. So it just so happened to work out that I already had the album done already, and I
Hmm.
only needed to add about five more tracks. So I added five more tracks, and basically I gave it to them and they approved it, and they was like, we need to get it out, and we need to get you on tour, and we need to do all of this stuff for you. So basically I'm still very much independent.
Okay.
I'm still very much independent. I still have a lot of control over everything I'm doing, but they're just the backbone to get it out there to a bigger audience for me.
Okay.
Yeah.
And so, if that is the case, what is the why would I just it's trying to understand how it works today because it used to be very difficult to even get a distribution deal
Yeah.
10 years 20 years ago. Not even a record deal. We're talking about a distribution where you pretty much have already done you own your stuff and you just want them to ship it out. I
Yeah.
guess what is the benefit in investing in you instead of saying we sign you 360?
Well, I just went with what was available to me. I went to a party and I didn't even know that that was something that I would be aligned with, you know.
Mm,
So when I went to Sony Orchard's party, I wasn't necessarily wanting to sign with them, but
mm,
that opportunity presented itself to me, and I stayed in contact with Liz, the president, and for the whole year, actually, she's been trying to find me a partner. We've been going through different partners in order to do this, but it's just that Jeff Brody, shout out to Jeff, he really believed in what I have going on. And so basically, with the whole distribution deal, they get my catalog on a bigger database. So basically,
mm.
bigger, like I can also have my records printed and, you know, in places like HMV and
Okay.
Amoeba. So it's just like, if I want to do more bigger things, then I can do it and they will support it. So, you know, everybody always says, you know, stay independent and everything like that, but I have been independent for a very long time. So I wanted to see how we could basically all collaborate, and me giving them this album and see where it takes me. And so far it's been great.
Yeah, I mean, what is the hope for an album in 2024? I mean, what's we hear numbers like Taylor Swift, a billion streams, and most of us don't understand what that really means. But for you, as a new upcoming independent artist, what's the expectations for your album? Do you have a landmark like okay, good if I get 1,000 streams, or I don't know how what's
Yeah, well, the first week of the album was 100,000 streams. We did pre-delivery and all of that stuff, so basically was able to accumulate everything that I had been working on, and that really helps, you know, with my fan base, having other listeners from all over the world, and
mm,
basically with Sony Orchard's database that they have, it broadens everything so that I get more reach with what I'm doing. So yeah.
so so when with more reach is that stuff that they push out, or is it just you need to generate interest in your stuff in you and your music that people will then be able to seek you out?
Well, you know, it comes with, we're gonna have a party. We're having a party on Sunday, which is a meet and greet. And I've been able to collaborate with different brands. There's a brand that I work with called Dollskill. Shout out to Dollskill. They actually designed like this outfit. and they always just give me product and everything. So we're having a big showcase there in LA. So if anybody's in LA on Sunday, make sure you go to the Dolls Kill store on Fairfax. We're tearing it down. I have some live guests. Kevin McCall, he's going to be our celebrity guest. And then also we have another group called Ice Gang that's going to be performing and opening, Pre-Blaze. You know, we have a bunch of dope talent that's going to come out to support Layla V. And yes, it's going to be dope.
How so? Did you decide that okay, if the music isn't going to be paying this quickly, I need to have a second career that can bring in the revenue to pay the bills, and then I
Yeah.
can slowly work on my music. When did that decision come about for you, and what did you decide to do?
Okay. So basically, my manager, who I was working with, I when I first came to LA, I was doing a lot of runways. I actually work with designers such as Karl Kani.
Mm,
He's Yeah, he's one of the '90s R&B legends.
yeah.
He's worked with Aaliyah and Tupac, and so working with these brands really helped my fan base grow, actually, because when you're walking on the runway and everything like that, people, they know who you are. And music has always been something. I didn't choose to be a model, that just so happened that my look was able to work for the American industry and the UK industry. So basically, working with that, I wanted to, I still wanted to be the face of my brand, like still wanted
Mm,
to be able to tie up the swag that I've learned from modeling and bring it with the music. So with my whole music and everything, it's a whole visualizer slash music and visualizer, but you get the whole experience with
yeah.
it. Yeah,
But
it's
that,
very
that also helps not put too much pressure on you making money from music.
yeah. Basically, like, that's actually helped me. Like, I've made so much more money off of modeling than music, because that's an extra thing that you're doing.
Mm,
It's marketing, branding, and everything like that. So I was able to basically brand myself as a model, and now that I have a deal with Orchard, I'm able to branch out so that the brand is more of my artistry. And now I can step back a little bit from the modeling, but I still get to get really nice clothing, really nice designs, and I get to work with a lot of great designers still, such as Karkanai, and Dolls Kill, and all the best.
yeah. I mean, but then when it comes to, I mean, as I started off by saying, I mean, recording music. What's the motivation really to record music these days when you have to get a billion streams before you can make a dollar. I mean, what is the incentive to be or an artist today?
I'm just doing what I love to do, basically.
Mm,
This is what I love to do, and I've never stopped doing it. So why would I just stop that just because of what's going on in the industry and who's not selling and whatever. You
mm,
know, I heard one time, like, when Whitney Houston, she came out and she said that my album's gonna peak during the year. Like, just because it's not sold a million of sales in the first week, that doesn't mean that my album's not gonna, gradually get there. And with this whole album that I just put out, Rockstar, which came out like last month, 100,000 streams is great for an independent album to just come out the first week with that. And basically, with the hopes of this is to keep elevating, keep working with different brands and doing showcases with them, and doing dope visuals. I love to do visuals, so
mm,
that's also another format of making money off of YouTube, or that kind of stuff. But it all ties in together. I could put out one song, but then how is people gonna,
mm,
I have music out already, but I want my fans to gravitate towards who I am as a recording artist and who I am as an artist, and having just a bulk of like a product is fun. It's fun, and I can really promote it and market
yeah,
myself. Yeah.
yeah. I guess the question then, when we start thinking about how to make it in the music business in
Yeah.
2024, what was your handbook as to how to make sure, how to understand the industry and balance things out?
With this industry, I'm still learning so much, but from all the, ups and downs of being in the industry, sometimes I've had answers of yes, and sometimes I've had rejection as well. So all of that has built me up to now to be able to just do what I got to do and, have a game plan. And like I said, like people around me have that I'm working with, they already in the industry, so they know how to break records. One of my friends, Prince Chappelle and Khalid, they wrote on NCT's this band from Korea. They wrote on one of their songs, Stickers. So they already know. I have friends that already know what's going on, how we're gonna get our money. I'm still making money. I'm
Hmm.
still making money from advertisements and my music videos and doing stuff with different brands and stuff. So we're still getting our coin. So
Yeah, yeah.
yeah.
If you think back to the the 90s, which R&B artist who came out then would you say, actually, this is someone who I wouldn't mind emulating?
Yeah, so okay. One of my favorite artists ever is Aaliyah. I
Okay.
love Aaliyah because she was independent, and the way her sound was, it was cultivated for her with Timbaland and Missy, and I just really want to work with Timbaland and Missy one day. But I'm working with Yanni, who has actually worked with Missy earlier. He's produced some of her songs already, so that working with him, that's kind of giving me that kind of sound that's suited to me. So yeah, that's one of my favorite artists, just the blueprint of everything, basically the blueprint of an artist, what an artist should be, from visuals to modeling for the likes of Karl Kani, which I do too. So it's been, with this whole me getting into what I'm doing, is I've been aligned already to do to be guided by these people. And some of the conversations that we have are about artists like Aaliyah and stuff like that. And but I also liked, like Beyonce as well, Destiny's Child. I loved Destiny's Child and Beyonce and everything. So, when I recently did like a music course in London, and that music course was like for like a year, and I just wanted to like expand my sound a little bit more, and that's where I met Matthew Knowles, Beyonce's father, and he instantly got the vision. He was like, I want to sign you to Music World Entertainment UK, and I'm gonna introduce you to Universal, and we're gonna make this happen. And he had so many great things to say, and really was like, this is who you are. Keep going. And I was very disheartened because I had been working on my sound and everything, trying to get signed. And also during that time, we still was talking with Orchard, but we didn't have a specific partner yet. So he really helped, a black man in the UK. It's difficult sometimes, for us to really, make it in this world. But I went to a school which was predominantly white, and they didn't give me a scholarship, but Matthew Knowles was like, I want him to be my VIP guest. I want to introduce him, and he really stood up for me in a way that I will always respect him for that. So yeah.
And but how come he didn't sign you to Music World?
That conversation is still a conversation that is still there, Michael, what the Music World UK owner, we was in conversation about doing it, but it just so happens that the deal that I have came through faster. And actually, I was coming to LA just to work on my sound, work on some more songs to present to Matthew Knowles. But Orchard was like, we're ready, we're ready already. So I just had to go with who was ready to keep it moving and keep things going. But that conversation is still something that can be had anytime.
I
So
mean, do you look forward to 2025, and do you have plans?
Yeah, I have loads of plans to continue to promote the album Rockstar, which I dropped last month through Sony Orchard. And basically, I'm just gonna do a visual album for it. So there's gonna be visuals to each song, and it's gonna be tied up in a film. And these things, it's a lot of work. Being an independent artist is a lot of work because you have to make sure the dance is good. I dance as well, so
Mm.
it's choreography, the look, the sound, and as you keep evolving, you want everything to be even more better than
Mm.
last. So I'm just giving it all that I have, and I know that the best is gonna be the best. We're gonna have the best outcome because it's
Yeah.
already happened. It's already in my face right now. I'm living out all my dreams right now. I know that there's so much stress out there in the world, but I don't really pay attention to what's really going on. I do pay attention to the artists that are out, and I see that a lot of artists, they're not selling like they used to be, but that really has nothing to do with me.
Mm.
So, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it's one thing to be in a recording studio and recording in a studio, but what about the your performance? How do you get
Yeah.
to work on that?
Yeah, my performance it's always a killer, I've been performing musical theater and dance since I was a child, so it's easy for me to sing and dance. Very, very easy. And that's one of my favorite things to do is perform, really, to perform and sing my songs with a production. I love a big production, big stage, big, you get everything in all the
Yeah.
drama. You get it all in one. And yeah,
but but I mean, what would you say? As we enter leave 2024 and move into 2025.
yeah.
What is some of the goals that you have for yourself?
The goals is to I would love to be acknowledged for my music, be acknowledged on a wider scale. I would love to have a Grammy award, you know. I would love to hit those kind of levels to even be nominated. So for 2025, those are things that we're looking at is getting
Mm.
my songs nominated for a Grammy and getting all the visuals for the album, and just keep promoting, and also re-releasing the album as well. So it's in Japan and bigger places, having it printed in like HMV, Amoeba, and having records and stuff like that. It's gonna be the whole brand marketing
Mm.
like that, which has been. But now that I have Orchard behind me, it's more easier for me to have more leeway with that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Um, I
It's a
mean, so
tricky,
can you?
it's a tricky moment.
It is tricky, but can
Yeah.
you talk through your EP that just come out? How many songs on there and how long it took? You said 5 years, but let's talk about
Yeah.
your new EP. So how many
Yeah.
songs
So
on there?
yeah. So my new EP is called Rockstar, and basically my name is Rickstar. So Rockstar. When I had my listening party, I had like my fans write down on a paper what they think the album should be, and somebody actually came up with the name Rockstar. So this is, you can't really see, but this right here is
Hmm.
my name, R-I, and then there's an O there as well. So it's Rickstar, Rockstar. So it's basically self-titled, and this is like a poster of the artwork that we have for it.
Okay. Is that a real
Um,
horse?
yeah, that's a real horse. I had to go with the horse, and this designer right here, he's called For the Stars. Actually, he designed Whitney Houston's bodyguard outfits in the Bodyguard, and he
Wow.
has worked with so many great artists. So as you can see, it's a visual piece. You know, this is just like a little leaflet and
Yeah.
the track list. But yeah, with this album, I had already songs already, but that was still like really funky, really funk. Like I have a song called Young Nation on there, which doing this music stuff and being in the music industry, I want to like leave a message for my fans as well. I'm not just doing this for the vanity side of things, even though we love Prince and vanity, but it's not really like, it's not about just that. It's We have a message behind what we're doing. With Young Nation, that was a song that didn't make this album, but it probably will be on the next album. That's talking about, going for your dreams and really believing in yourself. There's so many people in this industry that try to tear you down and say you're not worth it, you can't do this. And everything that people said that I couldn't be, I've just continued to evolve and become even better. So, you know, those are the kind of messages that I have on the album. But my song Halo, that's the song that I dropped a couple of weeks ago. That song is talking about, when people trip on your crown chakra, you know, sometimes people like to, just trip on your halo. And basically it's not it's like a innuendo for like hair and whatever. It's talking about don't trip on my halo, don't trip on my halo. And but anybody can have long hair, short hair. It's just about your crown being tripped on. So that has a message in that, even though it's a fun song. And it has like a interpolation of Khaleesi's milkshake. So make sure you go get Rickstar's Halo. um Independent, I have another song on the album called Independent, and that's the song that was written by myself, Zion Anthony, Prince Chappelle, and that's for all the independent artists, talking about, if you're independent, put your hands up, don't let nobody like crowd like try to tear you down, and make your own money, stay independent. It's basically a message to all the independent artists out there. um Rockstar is another song that's on the album that basically talks about, black eyeliner and, being a stereotype. And, because I have loads of tattoos, some people get it twisted. They think that I'm on another type of vibe, that I'm going to be, destructive and everything like that. And I am a rebel, but that's not the case. So, Rockstar basically that kind of song. I have another song called Countdown on the album. Countdown is a really, really dope song, and it has an interpolation of Trey Songz Say Ah, and that song Countdown is one of my favorite. There will be a visual to that. It's a dance record. Another song produced by Yanni. One Night Stand is another song that I have produced by Yanni. That's a more of a funner song. Famous, produced by Khalix. That song is, talking about, stepping into the industry and, all of my dreams and goals. Alone is another great song that I love. That song, it reminds me of Aaliyah's I Don't Wanna, It has an interpolation of Aaliyah's I Don't Wanna. So basically it's talking about being alone in any circumstance, any situation. It's basically saying I don't want to be alone. Yeah, and then there's other songs, Lose My Breath, Step 2 on there, which was produced by B Barber from Texas. Romeo, you know, Making Love. My songs all have some kind of like homage in them. It has a homage in it. I would say mostly to Aaliyah, to be honest with you, because that has an inspiration like for me. I'm not trying to be like anybody else, but obviously like you can see that that's kind of tied up into who I am. Once you listen to the album, you're gonna get that vibe, you're gonna get that uh, vibe for sure, that sound. And Yanni, one of my key producers who's produced on the album, has produced for Missy Elliott and Trey Songz and Chris Brown, so it just makes perfect sense.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
But how many songs? Nine?
there's 12 songs on there.
12 songs, yeah.
Yeah,
And I once just recently saw a video that the Dr. Dre and Snoop did, and Dre was saying about, back in the day, albums were really meant for one producer to do the bulk of the work, so you have a consistent sound. With
yeah,
these 12 songs, how was the sort of production and writing so split up?
yeah.
How, yeah.
Well, hmm
Go ahead.
well, Yanni's produced most of the album already. So Halo is produced by not Halo. Sorry, Countdown, One Night Stand, uh, Romeo. That's the bulk of Independent. Those songs are already produced by by Yanni already, so he's my main producer basically on the album.
Okay.
The other tracks that came along, a guy called Dilo, he's worked with Tizo Touchdown, another great artist that's out. He's produced Halo for me, and it's just songs around what I'm doing. B Barber as well. I've worked with him before, but he still has that sound that will fit this. So it was actually when I went to Coachella and I saw Doja Cat there recently, like this year. I went there and I saw the variations that she had on her album. I went
Mm.
back to the drawing board and I was like, I need about 5 more doper tracks, up tempo tracks. And that's where I really started to delve in. Who am I going to work with? What extra producers do I want to add without, making it too different from the
Mm.
producer who's already produced? But everything pretty much flows into each other already.
Okay.
And the music is obviously there. Yes, the music's there, but it's the vocal ability,
Mm.
the harmony and stuff that all merge together to make up a bigger sound.
I I mean, anyone listening to this would get a sense from your accent that you do sound British. How often do you return to the UK?
Yeah, well, I was just in the UK last year from January to like April or whatever. And that's where I was in the school with Matthew Knowles and we was
Okay, I
having
know.
regular
Yeah, I know he
yeah.
goes to the UK.
So yeah, so he goes to a school out there that I was part of to do like it was just a music course so that I can broaden me as an independent. Like I was kind of like over at this point as well, because I was wanting to find the right partner, and Liz hadn't found me a partner yet, but we ended up finding a partner, and everything just happened. I'm so thankful to God, because if it wasn't for God and all his alignments for me, then I wouldn't be who I am today. And he continues to just build that path for me so that it's set already and it's easy. And yeah, there's going to be ups and downs in it, but in the end, it's all rewarding and it all makes sense. It all makes sense why I didn't sign with the people that wanted to sign with at the time. A lot of the people that are in the industry that I wanted to sign with and work with, they're all, going down right now. And
Yeah,
so all of those gatekeepers, they've resigned, so, you know,
yeah,
this is it now for me
yeah.
and for the next generation, for me to bring it to bring the next generation through, but also have what I've learned so that they don't make the same mistakes that I've made. And
Yeah.
that's why I wanted to have an album such as Rickstar, because every song has a message behind it, but also there's a deeper meaning behind how we got it and how those things happened. So yeah,
Wow. I mean, hopefully next time you do come in, you can. Do you play an instrument?
I sing and dance, and I usually have a band that they will play 12-piece band or whatever. So yeah, I'm a
Yeah.
performer. I perform, I dance, I sing, and I put the whole show on that way. All the other technical stuff, yes, I co-produce myself. I also co-produce. When I'm listening to these songs that I get submitted, I jazz it up. I'm also a writer as well, so I write my own lyrics, and
Mm.
then some of my homies who have that American, Long Beach swag. Shout out to Zion and Calix. They already have worked together, so they understand, the extra sauce that I might need that we wouldn't say in the UK. So it all comes together nicely.
I mean, just knowing this, is the bulk of your family in the US or back in the UK?
Yeah, both of my family are in the UK. Most of everybody's in the UK, but I was just in New York for Fashion Week. So my mother, she already came out there. She's leaving today from New York. So
She's in the
I
UK, or
always
she stays with you, stays out in the US?
yeah, she comes out. She has her own dreams and goals and aspirations as well. So she's always in and out. Just I've been in and out all my life. because I have a green card. So, you know, staying
Okay.
over in the UK for too long and whatever, and staying out of the US, you have to keep coming in and out
Okay,
in order
makes
to
sense.
keep it. So yeah.
Yeah, makes sense. Okay.
And that's basically what I was doing when I was in the boy band as well. I was traveling the same as I've been doing for a kid. Um, and that's basically the same situation where I was able to broaden my sound, broaden my knowledge about the industry. You know.
Uh, um, and I guess just knowing all of this, where can people find you, both on social media and also your new album?
Yeah, you could find me at Rickstar Official on social media, and Rickstar Rockstar is the album. So that's on all streaming platforms. That's on Spotify, on Apple, Tidal, and all of the above. Yeah.
So, I mean, generally, we when I, with all my guests, I know we asked them that if you were going on a long journey and you had an album to listen to while you're on that long journey, what album do you pick? And it could be from any time or any era.
Yeah. Okay. One album that I really, really like love is Amory's first album, All I Have. And obviously working, meeting with Rich Harrison's team and everything, and
Mm,
understanding when he said, "Oh, you remind me of Terrence Darby," that really encouraged me to be able to write more and listen to certain sounds. So that's an album that I was listening to on the plane. I love the
mm,
harmonies that she has created with Rich Harrison in those songs. It's more than just the verse. It's more than just the one thing. It's everything entwined, and it takes you on a journey. So A
mm.
Marie's one A Marie's album, All I Have, is one that I've really been listening to right now.
Yeah, 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 and yeah, and I guess it's one thing about um looking up to female artists vocally. What is your vocals more tuned to? So if people are listening to you, who would they hear and they think, Rick Star sounds has this is his vibe.
uh they would basically, I get like Michael Jackson a lot.
Hmm.
I get Michael Jackson a lot. I don't know if it's like the tenacity or whatever it is in my voice, but I mean, yeah, I mean, you would have to hear me sing in order for people to really understand it. But on the album, you can really you can hear my sound basically. But I'm a true tenor already, so
Okay.
I do love a lot of female artists because my mom listens. She's a woman, I was grown by my
Mm,
mother, so listening to those kind of sounds. But then there's great artists that I do, male artists that I love as well, like Tank and Jagged Edge and Chris Brown and R&B. I really really love R&B. So listening
mm.
to those kind of Jodeci, they sound like women already. So their voice their tenors can go really really high, and it's all together. It doesn't matter if it's a girl, it doesn't matter if it's a guy. The sound, that sonic sound, that feeling is what really makes
Mm.
me love music, and really makes me want to do it and experiment with my sound and experiment with different harmonies and leads and different things. Yeah.
Uh, have you recorded anything solo, or is it? Sorry, so sorry. But have you recorded anything live acoustic with a band without the studio, just showcasing your
Yeah.
vocals?
I've
Okay.
yeah, I've recorded um I've recorded loads of songs just showcasing my vocals.
Yeah, like an acoustic, like back in the day we used to have something called unplugged.
Yes. Yeah, I sang I have like I covered Janet Jackson's That's the Way Love Goes, and
Wow.
that's more of an acoustic. Yeah. That's more of an acoustic vibe. My voice is I'm very sexy. Like my voice is very sexy. So I mean, I could sing would you like a acapella now
Yeah,
or something?
definitely. Yeah, go
Okay.
ahead.
Yeah. Okay. Lately I have had the strangest feeling, with no vivid reason here to find. Yet the thought of losing you's been hanging around my mind. Far more frequently you're wearing perfume, with you say no special place to go. But when I ask, will you be coming back soon? You don't know, never know. Well, I'm a man of many wishes. I hope my premonition misses. But what I really feel, my eyes won't let me hide. 'Cause they always start to cry. Oh, 'cause this time could mean goodbye. So yeah, um, for
You
you.
know, it is one thing to, to be able to just sing off the cuff like that. I know you guys normally have your vocal warm ups, and people are afraid of being off key and stuff. But I have to admire the fact that you just jumped into it as if, yeah, look, I already have this sitting back here. I can just. It's almost like a hip hop artist that just has its rhymes ready to go. Where did you
Yeah.
develop that kind of confidence and self confidence within yourself to say, what, if I'm asked to sing, I'll sing?
Well, you always have to be prepared. Like people come into the industry and they think, I'm not gonna be prepared. But for me, when I go out to these parties, you never know who you're gonna meet. Or
Mm.
when I'm in LA, the scene is so big out here. So I always have to be prepared. Right now, I'm actually in a rehearsal studio. I'm rehearsing for my show on Sunday. So
Okay.
I'm at AMP in Hollywood. So right now, I'm about to, after we finish talking, I'm about to go and rehearse all my songs and get prepared for Sunday. But I mean, when it's second nature, it shouldn't be hard for you to just bust out a vocal, isn't it?
Well, yeah, as I
I mean,
said,
unless you're in the stages of developing yourself, but I'm not developed. I'm not developing. I did that when I was in a boy band already.
yeah.
So
No, most of the
and
most established artists are. You'd be surprised how they'll be like, oh, they would be very hesitant to sing just because, um, yeah, it's their bread and butter, and if they make a mistake, the worry is that, okay, is this going to be held against them? I remember when they had the challenge. Um, what was that challenge? Um, it was Tevin Campbell. Can we talk?
yeah,
And you had two established artists who were big in the '90s. There was RL from Next, and it was I think either Little G from Silk or
yeah,
Joe Little from the Rude Boys. And because either the key was too high or stuff, but they were straining to sing, and it really wasn't. It just didn't come out great, and it was like one of those things where, man, I should have just taken my time, rehearsed the song, and then record it, and then send it out on social media. And so,
yeah.
as I said, artists today are wary when it comes to singing. So really, really have to admire your courage, but also the pitch as well. Yeah, because I
Thank you
know
so much.
it's definitely not easy. Yeah.
There's a lot of rappers out here, so in LA, so I have to prove myself all the time. So I'm not looking to, I'm not competing with anybody, but I also have to represent myself to the fullest. When
Mm.
there's rappers that can just rap on the spot, I've also got to be able to, when we're doing freestyle circles and stuff, I've got to be able to sing on key and think of like, what's next for me to go on that track. So it just becomes second nature after that. Yeah.
Having a very pronounced English accent, because when I lived there, I think I lost most of my accent. How does
Yeah.
that hinder? Does it hinder you? Does it open doors, or what's that like for you?
Yeah, it has opened up many, many, many doors for me, to be honest with you, having an English accent. But it's not like I'm going out there to say, "Oh, hi, what's up, governor?" Like, I'm not doing that. Most of the time, I don't even talk to people because they like to get into when I'm out and whatever. I don't like really like to, because then it's gonna be a whole conversation about my biography and where I'm from and stuff like that. So when I first moved to New York, I used to always do that. But then when I found out, when you keep talking to different people, some of them may have an agenda, or some of them may
Mm,
be wanting to be your friend just because of who they think you are. So I just stopped, laid back for a bit. But yeah, it has definitely opened up a lot of doors for me as an artist. But then also maybe at the same time it has, but then also, sometimes people might feel like, a little bit intimidated,
mm.
because I am from the UK. So, it works for me, but then also maybe sometimes it might not. But you can't be concerned about what other people are thinking and
Yeah.
what they got going on. Like, you can only be concerned about yourself and what it is that I'm bringing to the table. Because being an artist, there's so much struggles that happen every day. And being an independent artist, they don't know the ins and outs of what's going on and what it
Mm.
took me to get to that studio session to record that song, and what it took me to liaise with the producer, and what it took me to have the songs that I have now. So yeah.
Yeah. So, I mean, just as we get ready to wrap up, what is the difference between if you had remained here in the UK and you were trying to get yourself um, music out in the public compared to
Yeah.
being in the US right now? What's been the main difference between an urban artist in the US compared to a new urban artist in the UK?
Um, I wouldn't say, okay. Now that social media is here, it's more easy to connect with people such as yourself and be on platforms such as yourself, so that it's a broader audience. I mean, it's
Mm,
the same like with what you're doing. Like, I listen to your show a lot of the time, and you're from the UK, so just like it's just so funny how it works hand in hand. You're so many miles away, but I'm still watching your shows. I watch all the people that you bring up on the show. I've had run-ins with them, in LA, and wanted to work with some of them, and have
mm.
spoken to some of them about working. So it's just I wouldn't say that it's so hard right now, but obviously as time is before, when I first came, I had to use what I had already in order to find my niche. And so, now everything is so universal, so it's more easy for everybody to be who they want to be, and sound who sing what they want to sing, and to have meetings with who they want to have meetings with. And
Mm.
just you just have to know how to use social media and stuff like that.
Yeah, it seems like it seems different, but I guess there's a sense of ownership,
Yeah.
taking control of how you want to represent. I guess when you've heard artists saying they had me sing songs that didn't align with how my image and my value, they wanted to dress me in a way that they
Yeah.
thought would sell records, but it just was contrary to how I see myself. And the fact that you now in a
Yeah.
stage where you've got to manage your own social media and manage your own history of how you want to promote yourself means the
Yeah.
label, yeah, yeah. So,
So
but it
many
does seem like a lot of work.
one thing that I can say is, like, people are not willing to take challenges. So that's why a lot of them have failed in the music industry or whatever they've done. Yes, they've had the label to support them, but they depended solely on the label. I'm not dependent on just the label. I'm still independent. I'm still pushing as an independent artist. And I guess, when you take those risks, such as like what a Beyonce would do, you're doing backflips and stuff on the stage and stuff like that. You're taking risks and you're singing, and you're not waiting for people to say, "Oh, you gotta do it like that." And people, I model as well, so I've modeled for people, like did makeup modeling for the artist Jeffree Star. And so all of these different things, they tie in. together. I was in the Weeknd's video as well,
Mm.
for Take My Breath. I've been in Snoop Dogg's video as well. Working in the industry, I've been on set a lot of time to get that money to be able to put into my music and stuff. So you just have to
Wow.
take risks, and if this is something that you really want to do, then why should you just be upset and lazy? You shouldn't be lazy, and you shouldn't let people stray you away from what you
Mhm.
want. I've been strayed away so many times, but then when I'm having conversations with Matthew Knowles and he's like, "Oh, this is in right now. I just came from my daughter's concert, Beyonce's concert," and he's telling me that, you know, that's, to me, that gives me more encouragement,
Mm.
especially when so many people, they want to try to stray you away from your sound. I've had loads of people try to stray me away and say don't model and don't do that. But if I don't model, then how would I ever
Pay
have
your
made
bills.
the money to pay for my music? So
Yeah, yeah.
yeah,
I mean, definitely, it's been fascinating speaking with you.
yeah,
Just
it's great.
can you share again the where people can find you and where we can find your new album?
Yes, you could find my album Rickstar, Rockstar on all streaming platforms. And you can also follow me on Instagram, Rickstar Official, and that's where you will find me doing posts. And if anybody's in the LA, make sure you come out on Sunday from 8 to 10. I'm doing a big showcase out there, and I'm having the likes of Kevin McCall come out, Ice Gang, Prince Chappelle, Zion Anthony, Layla V. We're all coming together to bring a showcase to you guys.
Wow.
So yeah,
No, definitely, Rick. It's Rickstar. It's definitely been great having you on board, and
yeah,
definitely it'll be good just to to have you back in due time. I
thank
know
you,
the
bro.
audience generally are they're used to hearing and watching people from the 90s and 80s, so more vets who have already gone through the process and sort of now just doing shows. But it, as I said, for us, it's always fascinating to hear people who are trying to make new music now. There's a lot of it's
Yeah, I
quite
mean,
different, and just hearing your story is always fascinating.
yeah, and there's being led by, you just go with the energy of being led or whatever. I've been around some of the greatest people. Mila from 702, she actually put me through on this website showcase called Bossip. And so I was able to speak to her about 702 and being in the industry and everything like that. And those kind of people have been surrounded. My friend Ty Hunter, shout out to Ty Hunter, Beyonce's stylist. He's one of my good friends who give me advice whenever I need for to know what I'm doing or what's current, whatever. So shout out to,
Mm.
I always have those people in my corner already. So it's just
Wow.
alignment, really. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, as I said, it's it seems as if you're always keeping yourself prepared. Getting when you get invited to parties, being able to network and things, which is not easy, but you seem to have a skill with that. So yeah, definitely. Well,
Yeah.
Rick Starr, it's definitely great
Thank you.
to have you on board. And yes, this is one of
Yeah.
the things that'll be good just to keep following your career to see how it goes, and you know, and let us keep keeping us track on how the album's doing. And I think finally, does it make? Could I listen to the album on Spotify? But does it make a difference if somebody was listening to it on YouTube as opposed to Spotify, as opposed to Apple Music, as opposed to Amazon Music? For you as the artist, does it make a difference where
Yeah.
people listen to it or listen to your music?
Yeah, I would prefer to for everybody to listen to it on Spotify, because Spotify and Apple, because they're straight like streams already. And obviously I do want them to go on YouTube and check the tracks out, but I want them to see the whole visual with it. So you can see some of the songs on there with visuals, but as the album is out now, you can be prepared to hear more and see more visuals and stuff like that right now. So yeah,
Okay,
just
okay.
tap in on social media and you will see everything that be doing throughout the year, the rest of this year and next year when I have my Grammy in my hand.
Hey, that's it. If you don't see it, you have, and the whole thing is about shoot for the stars, but you land on the moon. That's that's an Elon Musk sort of how he runs his stuff is like he aims so high. Yeah, if you're aiming to get the Grammy, hey, you might just get the nomination. You might start getting other award shows picking you up. BET Award, Rise a New Star, and all that stuff. So
Yeah,
yes, okay. Well, guys, he's Rickstar official. That's his IG. And
yeah,
if you search Rickstar on any of your streaming platforms for music, definitely check out his new album, Rickstar Rockstar, and be able to just give us a sense of what your thoughts are about the music.
yeah.
But for now,
Thank you.
definitely, Rickstar, thanks for showing up. Thanks for being
Thank
part of
you.
Halftime Chat, and we definitely wish you all the best in the future.